action, but here we are, and spawning in the bottom right position of the map that is Acheron Wastes, we have our red Zerg player coming in for team property. It is Snuffe. And spawning in the top left position as our yellow Zerg player, coming in with a Fnatic tag, it is Miniraser.
Okay. So he's got the Fnatic tag, but is he on the Fnatic Academy or something?
Last I recall about Miniraser was something to do with Western Wolves, right? But
oh, he's on Fnatic. It says on Wikipedia. So he might be in their Academy team, or he might be on their actual roster. That's pretty impressive. So Fnatic Miniraser versus Team Property Snuffe here on Acheron Waste. Zerg versus Zerg to start the day off with. Okay, that's cool. So what are you expecting for our first match of the day here? Two top European Master League players, low Grandmaster, ZVZ on Acheron Waste. What are we going to see here?
Well, in terms of the current metagame, a lot of it is the same, at least for the early stages, as in Wings of Liberty. A lot of early Ling Bane aggression. We can actually see neither of these players are opening up very aggressively, both going for a very standard 15 pool. This will keep them safe against anything such as a 10 pool or anything, without having to know too much about what the other Zerg player is doing. But as far as mid-games go, it's all about building up to getting to that layer tech, getting the gas mine, and going for a lot of Mutalisks really dominating the metagame right now. But we could see some aggression coming up from one of these players. There are a couple of timing builds that some players do go for, fast roach attacks. And of course, Ling Bane wars can be pretty dominant, at least before reaching that stage. But we do have both players now moving over to take their expansions. And this does look like, so far, it's going to be pretty standard. Typically speaking, the Zerg will mine about 100 gas, get their speed, next 50 goes into the Baneling Nest, and it all just kind of comes down to who wants to be aggressive from there.
Yeah, it looks like Miniraser is going to have the most options to be aggressive early on, because his gas mining started quite a bit earlier than Snuff's gas mining has started. He's just now grabbing his first few drones into that gas extractor, and he will be getting that underway. While on the other side of the map, Miniraser has already accumulated 100 gas, so he could go ahead and start speed, and that's exactly what he does. He keeps one worker in the gas, which gives him the option to throw down, let's say, a defensive Baneling Nest in a while.
Yeah, the majority of Zerg players kind of agree that getting a defensive Baneling Nest is almost a necessity. Going for Speedlings versus Speedlings of Banelings is a fight that no one really wants to take, but he's putting just one drone on that gas. He can get it a little bit later. Maybe he has something else planned as well, but it's going to give him a tiny bit more mineral income, so he will be able to get out possibly a faster drone or two, and maybe a couple extra Zerglings later on when he does decide to be aggressive, if that's what he wants to do with this earlier speed. As you said, both of these players are actually some Swedish teams. Can you give us any more insights on these guys as far as the European scene goes?
Well, we see guys like these play in things like DreamHack tournaments a lot. They go to local European tournaments. I cast for ESET a lot, a Starcraft 2 sponsor, and they do a lot of show matches with players like these two guys. We've had them over for show matches, so I have seen quite a bit of their play. I can't really exactly remember if that was in ZVZ. In the ZVC matchup, though, as we see a few links of Snuffe get into the main base of Miniraser, and they're going to see exactly what's happening. How far along is his Baneling Nest, and how much gas has he mined? That is what these two Zerglings were looking for.
Yeah, that information's so crucial in the early games. I mean, Zergling speed had not just yet completed, so both players still a little bit in the dark, but they are going to amp up that Zergling production right now quite a bit more for Miniraser. His Baneling Nest is complete now. Both players did build their Baneling Nests at the natural expansion, so they're pretty defensively postured. You can put the Queen between the hatchery and the Baneling Nest to kind of just limit surface area if Zerglings do get close. And we actually have a Spine Crawler going up for Snuffe. No Spine yet for Miniraser, so with these Zerglings he's building, he could be looking to get on the aggressive. He is building Banelings outside of Snoofe's space, but a couple Zerglings are going to poke in for Snuffe, and Miniraser should be able to take these down no problem. And it looks like Snuffe is going to be on the defensive for now. With that Spine Crawler, he can target down those Banelings, one of them already very low on hit points. And Miniraser looks like he's going to go in now.
That's a lot of Zerglings. There's only one Zergling on the field for Snuffe, so he's going to have to do this with his Banelings. He gets one good hit. The second Baneling is still alive and does manage to stay alive. Good defense here by Snuffe, defending with only one Ling and two Banelings in that single spine against about 16 Zerglings. He definitely got the better end of that trade, and now he might look to put on some counter-aggression because he has that Baneling, he has the superior Zergling numbers, and he's going to chase Miniraser home.
Yeah, a really solid defense on the part of Snuffe, and keep in mind behind this, he's started his lair tech. It's about 25 seconds ahead of Miniraser's. He has the gas already saturated in his natural. At the same time, Miniraser is doing this himself. He's just not getting his spine crawler though, and diving in is Snuffe. He's got to be a little bit careful. Those Banelings are there pretty well, but Miniraser kind of getting lucky here if Snuffe doesn't choose to be really aggressive because he did get that spine crawler so late. In fact, it's just about halfway done. So with the lair finishing up for Snuffe, we should see a Spire come down. Some players have been experimenting with other builds, but for the most part, it's a lot of Mutalisk play, and it looks like Miniraser could try to get on the aggressive once again before pushing in here.
Yeah, Miniraser is trying to be aggressive here. There is a third base down for Snuffe, so he could look to punish that, but I don't think he even knows that's up. A little bit of bad overload position there. Queen is going to get caught here. That's a good thing for Miniraser as he's trying to attack here. There's not a lot of Banelings to defend for Snuffe. Where are they? There are they. They need to get some good hits on these Zerglings to be able to defend this.
Yeah, getting off a couple of nice Baneling hits there. That's exactly what he needed to do. Oh, goodness gracious. A lot of damage being done there. But Snuffe is going to be able to stabilize everything. Still looking pretty normal. That Spire is about halfway done for Snuffe. It's only now just starting for Miniraser, so investments into Banelings is going to slow down the tech, and he really wants to make this a cost-effective push if he wants to actually slow down the tech of Snuffe or do some crippling damage before the Mutalisks really come into play. He's going to go and try to snipe off this third hatchery while he takes his own. Snuffe is going to try to push him away. He's got a couple of Banelings moving in here, and if he can get one or two good detonations, he should be able to thwart this aggression. The Banelings getting dangerously close here. The Zerglings tucked behind the mineral line. They're going to try to escape. The Banelings, though, getting caught on one side of that hatchery, and he's not going to be able to move in. But Miniraser is bringing his own Banelings up here. He is not relenting with this aggression, and those Banelings are getting so close.
Yeah, he wants to get that third base pretty desperately since that third base was a little bit earlier than his, and he might be able to get it. Oh, it's so incredibly close. Snuffe is coming in with a little bit of reinforcements. Actually, Miniraser's reinforcements get there first, and he is going to get this third hatchery. It looks like the Zerglings are not ready to pop yet. Snuffe is going for his Mutalisks. 11 are already on the way, so that means he has nothing to defend his third base right now, and the Zerglings of Miniraser, even though there were only about 8 of them, were able to take that hatchery down, and the Mutas are now about to pop. 11 of them are going to be out on the field, whereas Miniraser, he's going to produce 11, but they're a lot later than Snuffe's. Should be in time, though.
Yeah, pretty much at this point, the best Snuffe could ask for would be able to use his Mutalisks being out slightly earlier to possibly deny the third, but it does look like at the time it would take for him to cross the field, yeah, he's just going to try to pick off a couple of the Zerglings in the center of the map, retake his third base, but, getting this... even though Snuffe did get the faster third, having that denied is such a big deal. Miniraser is going to be able to take this gas faster, be able to get his Mutalisk production, but as I say that, Snuffe is coming in, picking off the Queen at the third base. The Zerglings are running in for Miniraser to try to deny this third once again of Snuffe. He has enough Zerglings to stop him this time, though, but the aggression by the part of the Mutalisks for Snuffe is going to be held back. Miniraser does now have his own Mutalisk out, and well, that faster third base gas could end up paying in big dividends for how many Mutalisks Miniraser is able to make, and with that dominating the matchup currently, this could be a very big deal.
Miniraser does need to produce some drones, though. He's pretty far down in the drone count. He only has 39 drones to the 56 workers of Snuffe. So Snuffe is in a pretty good economic position, and when his third base gets back up, he's going to be about on equal footing. And here we have the engagement of Muta on Muta. Neither one have finished any upgrades yet, and it looks like Miniraser has the superior Muta count for now. He has his Zerglings underneath to kind of absorb the Mutalisk glaive bounces as we see a bit of a Zergling run by into the main base. Snuffe is going to try to do some counter damage here. Will be able to pick off a Queen, and what other damage can he do here? Ooh.
Those Banelings getting so close. Snuffe's got to be careful. They are dangerously close. He will be able to neutralize both of them, though. And he is actually doing quite a bit of damage here to Miniraser. The Mutalisk at the same time tried to dive in towards that third, but Miniraser being defensive with those. There's no mining going on in the main base right now, though, and that's a lot of lost mining time on the gas part in terms of even just getting out Zerglings. And since that Queen is dead, he won't be able to throw any injects up. It does look like Miniraser is going to be able to get enough Lings to hold this off for now, but a good amount of damage done by Snuffe, and you know what? It really shows in the supply count, especially with those extra drones that he's had for quite a while, as you said before.
Yeah, Nathaniel, that's a good point you're making there. Denying the mining time while already being up 20 workers and now having a third base. I think Snuffe is getting into a fantastic position for the mid game here and the Muta on Muta fights. He's the one that starts his +1 attack first, so he is going to have a little bit of an attack upgrade. As far as the Muta count goes now, 22 for Snuffe to 20 for Miniraser, so they might be able to fight here, but the Zergling reinforcements are coming in for Miniraser to absorb those glaive bounces, like I said earlier, so Snuffe is going to be forced to retreat right now, but he definitely has the better long-term options. He has the better income. He is gonna have superior upgrades for a few seconds too.
Yeah, especially with this saturated third, but it looks like Miniraser wants to dive in. Not going to be able to get too much. What about that Spinecrawler and the Mutalisks are going to help to clean this up, but going to be getting into an engagement now. And like you said, those Zerglings being under the Mutalisks, really able to soak up the bounces from the Mutalisks' primary attack. And at the same time, Miniraser is just going to dive into the main base, but the third base being hit by Snuffe. He's going to be able to pick off the Spinecrawler. It looks like possibly go for some drones, and the Mutalisks attacking the natural. There is aggression all over the map right now.
Yeah, the Mutalisks of Snuffe are defending his main base against the Zergling, so he might end up losing his natural. Are they going to come back in time? Yes, they are going to come back in time. He cannot commit to sniping that hatchery because he would lose his Mutas. He would lose too many of them, and he wouldn't be able to go toe-to-toe with them anymore. Actually, I don't think Miniraser is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Mutas anymore. Look at the Muta count right now. 27 for Snuffe versus only 22 of Miniraser, so it's going to be very difficult for Miniraser to come back from this discrepancy now. He's down in the Muta count. He's very far down in the drone count, and he's down in overall supply. He's going to have to make some very sneaky plans to come back into this game.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing was that third base almost being sniped off. He lost a lot of gas mining time, and now the Mutalisk count for Snuffe. The Zerglings are going to help a lot in swinging this fight. He has to be careful with his engagement. He can't get cocky, but he does have that +1 attack. It is not yet done for Miniraser, and this is going to give him an edge in the fight if he takes a Muta versus Muta fight, which looks like is going to happen now in the southwest side of the map. But Snuffe taking this pretty convincingly so far. Miniraser is going to have to retreat, and like you said, that supply discrepancy, Lillian, it is getting so big, and things are just going to snowball at this point for Snuffe if Miniraser can't make something happen now.
Yeah, what is Miniraser going to do? He's down. He needs to make some very unexpected moves. Maybe trying to do some Zergling harassment. There's not that many Overlords left out on the map, so maybe if he takes a bit of an unconventional route with a group of Zerglings, he might be able to do some damage to the third. But at the third base, look at the third base of Snuffe right now. He's got 3 spores and 2 spines there. He's got spine crawlers and queens at every base, 4 crawlers everywhere. So Snuffe is pretty safe in this defense too. So he can just poke around, be offensive, keep Miniraser on 3 bases, and maybe take a 4th himself.
Yeah, and a couple Zerglings do try to run into the natural of Miniraser. He's going to dive some into the main base as well, and he still has a large number of Mutalisks and Zerglings, and right now that Mutalisk count, 37 for Snuffe. The Zerglings are diving in. He might be able to grab that queen at the main base. At the same time, the Mutas are going to hold off this sort of a Zergling attack from Snuffe, but now Snuffe is running into the main base of Miniraser. He might be able to pick off the Spire here. This would be absolutely huge. No more Mutalisks, it would mean, for Miniraser, and he will get that Spire, and now things are beginning to look a little dreadful here for our yellow Zerg player.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to produce any more Mutalisks for a long time, so we are going to watch this fight, and it's not going to go that well for Miniraser, I don't think. He is losing this fight pretty heavily. He was outnumbered in the Mutalisk numbers, but he knew he had to fight there. He had no Spire, he would lose the game, so he knew he was going to lose that fight. Let's face it, Nathan. He knew he was going to go down there, but he had to try. He had to give it